Right, we're on question 11. Okay, and this is the functional maths. These are the new sort of questions you're going to have, where you're going to have data. It could be a timetable like this. It could be ringing abroad. What's the best time to do that? It could be taking your family on holiday. But you're going to have to look at data on the day, and you're going to have to assess what's the best way of doing something. So you really need to read these questions slowly, because they're going to be worth quite a few marks, okay, to make sure you get all of them really, because these are the ones, they're not going to be difficult to do, but you have to make sure that you read it carefully. Don't just put down one answer. So we've got Sarah and Paige, and they live in Nottingham. Okay, so that's the first part of the rail timetable there. And they're planning a trip to Liverpool. So that's the first thing I need to underline. Okay, we're going from Nottingham to Liverpool. And they've got to be in Liverpool by 2 o'clock. Again, that's critical. So if you're looking at the timetable, 14:28 at Liverpool there. Okay, that's 2:28. Take 12 hours away from that. Okay, that's 2:28. That would be no good. So the only bus she could catch would be either this one or this one. Okay, they can travel by train, bus, or in Sarah's car. So we're looking at the train timetable first. Showing all your reasoning, how do you recommend they travel? Give one advantage, this is critical, and one disadvantage for your choice. So we need to work them all out first, and then you're going to make a final choice at the end, and you have to give an advantage and a disadvantage of your choice. So the part of the rail timetable, okay, if they want to be in Liverpool by 2 o'clock, I would say, okay, let's catch, so we're going to do it by train. We could catch the 10:52, and that would get there at 13:27. We need to see what the cost is, and if we read there, it says the train fare from Nottingham to Liverpool is £39.50 return each. Okay, so the cost would be £39.50 return. That means that you can go there and back, and it's only going to cost you £39.50 for one, but there's two of them, so that's going to cost you times by 2, so you double that. If you double it, it's just like £240. Take off the 250p's, so it's £80 minus £1. So that's going to cost you £79, and I minus the pound because I've got the 250 pence. So that's our first thing. Okay. Then we're going to look at the bus timetable, and this is the bus timetable here. Depart Nottingham. Remember, we've got to get there for 2 o'clock, and again, we could arrive in Liverpool there. This one's too late. This one gets here a little bit early, okay, and it's a 7:50 train, all right, so we could catch, sorry, not the train, the bus we're on now, 7:50 bus, so we could catch the 07:50, that would get us in at 13:35, and let's have a little look at the cost. The bus fare from Nottingham is £32 return for 2 people travelling together, okay, it's 32 people return for 2 people. So it's only going to cost them £32 for the 2 of them. So much cheaper, but look at the time. You've got to get up a lot earlier. So if you could argue, that would be a disadvantage, wouldn't it? If you've got to be on that bus at 7:50. Okay, now we're going to look at the car costs. If we travel by car, we've got a distance is 105 miles. So we've got 105 miles to travel. Someone's got to drive. And the expected average speed of the car is 35 miles per hour. That means every hour, okay, they're going to travel 35 miles. So we're going to travel at 35 miles per hour. Now, if I've got to travel 105 miles, again on a non-calculator paper, they'll make it nice and easy. How many 35s are there in 105? 35 and 35 is 70, and 70 and 35 is 105. So that's going to take me 3 hours. So it's going to take me 3 hours, and if you look at the times, okay, we look at the times it took there and look at the time it took there, that's quite favourable. And let's have a look at the cost. The cost of running Sarah's car is 30 pence for every mile. So if it's 30 pence for every mile, and she's going to travel 105 miles, okay, the cost is going to be 105 multiplied by 30. So if I do 105 multiplied by 10, that's 1050. Now remember, this is in pence. So that would be £10.50, okay, when I multiply by 10. That's multiplying it by 10. Now I want to multiply by 30, so I'd multiply that one by 3, and that's going to cost me 3.50 pences, or £1.50. Carry the 1 over. 3 times £10 is 30, and the 1, £31.50. Right, so the cheapest, okay, if you look at just the expected average speed and the cost of running in the car, okay, is £31.50. It's £32 for the two of them if they go by the bus, but they've got to get up early, okay, and the train is going to cost them a lot more money, okay, but they haven't got to drive. So, okay, there's no right answer here. There's lots of different, as long as you argue the case, okay. I would say that you could argue that the bus is a good deal, okay, because they haven't got to drive. This £31.50 is the petrol, but don't forget you've got the wear and tear of the car, you've got to concentrate, you've got all that effort of driving through. £32 for two is a good deal on the car, on the bus. So you could say the bus is the cheapest, okay. Well, not arguably, I suppose we should say that the car is the cheapest by 50p, but if you take into account, it's the cheapest when running costs are taken into account. The only disadvantage of the bus is you've got to get up early. It's an early start. Okay, and that should be enough. You've explained that even though the car is the cheapest by 50p, you've got your running costs there, and you've got to drive as well, so you've got to concentrate. It'd be much more relaxing for them to go on the bus, so it's cheapest, take into account, and you can say, and it's relaxing. So you've given an advantage and a disadvantage for both cases.